welcome back. It's the 9th of July, as I can see, and it's 1:25 a.m. in the morning, and it's a Tuesday, and I'm in Nepal shooting a wedding. Well, I'm part of a wedding team that's shooting a wedding in Nepal. But I've been shooting for the whole day. I'm exhausted as hell. So today's video, what will the topic of today's video be? I've been trying to tell this for some time, though I'm not really planned for this shoot as of yet. It's about freelancing. Now, freelancing is something which I didn't actually start off in the beginning of my photography journey. Back in 2015-16, when I actually stepped into the world of professional photography, I was actually looking for opportunities to freelance for other working professionals who have been working for many years in this field. But I didn't technically get an opportunity because I was having a full 9 to 6 job. So if at all I got any opportunity to appear in any freelance jobs, I was unable to attend them because I had to attend office. Other than that, I guess I wasn't ready, or I didn't find like-minded people to actually freelance for. So should you freelance or should you not freelance? Here is the question. So I would basically say, as a beginner, freelancing is a great way to start your photography journey, because you go and shoot in other people's weddings. You learn the tips and tricks of the trade. Of course, basic knowledge of how to shoot, how to use the DSLR, what is shutter speed, what is aperture, what is ISO, what is the exposure triangle. All these details are very important. But other than that, how to actually shoot a wedding, because shooting and knowing photography is one thing, but actually going to an event and shooting it and knowing all the circumstances, all the problems that will arise in the field, that is something which is very necessary to know when you're shooting an event. And that is something, that is some knowledge which you can really gain if you shoot and freelance under senior photographers. It will be a very steep learning curve, and in the process you might actually get ready to actually start shooting your own weddings. So in 2016, I shot my first wedding. Here are a few pictures of that wedding that I shot. It wasn't really a smooth journey, of course, because I hadn't freelanced for anyone before. I had directly got the opportunity to shoot the wedding assignment of my office colleague back then. But it was a rough journey, but in the end, the output was okay. Of course, it would have been much better if I had known how things would have turned out in an actual wedding. That was the first wedding. Then came the second wedding, then the third, then the fourth, and the assignments and the weddings rolled by, the years rolled by, and here I am. Last April, when I actually quit my job, I realized that now I am free to freelance. But of course, if you own a DX camera and with your certain skill set, you can actually charge a certain range of money for your services. And other than that, if you actually own an FX camera with a good set of lenses and with a certainly better skill set, you can charge a higher amount of money for your freelance skills. So that varies from assignments, on how the peak dates which are available to you, whether your skill set is something which is really in scarcity and people really need good quality work which you can give to your clients. These are some of the factors which you can actually determine your value as a freelancer. Here are some of the categories in which you can divide the value of a freelancer. Well, first comes your years of experience. Of course, you can be shooting it for 1 year. It can even be your first wedding, or you've been shooting as a freelancer for the last 5 to 10 years. It matters how many years of experience you have. According to that, you can know in which situations which kind of photos to take, and according to that your value as a photographer increases or decreases. कुछ है हो रहा है अभी? Well, there was years of experience. Next comes the type of camera body and camera lenses that you're using. It can be an entry-level DSLR like the Nikon 3000 series, or a mid-level DX format like the Nikon 5000 series. Of course, I am a Sony person from the beginning itself. I've been shooting in Sonys. In the beginning, I was shooting with a Sony A58, which a dear friend of mine had lent to me because I was his childhood friend and he was a very kind-hearted person. He was a real sweetheart. After that, I actually purchased my own DSLR, the Sony A68, which I had used for about 2.5 years. After that, finally shifting to the Sony A7 III in April 2018. Well, apart from the camera body comes the set of lenses that you're using. Suppose you are using a DX body in which the 17 to 50 mm f2.8 is a really good lens to choose for. Apart from that, you can shoot prime lenses like 50 mm, the 35 mm. So if you're using a FX camera, I will suggest 3 basic lenses that you should have. That is a 24-70 2.8, the 70-200 2.8, and you can have the 85 mm 1.8. That is one of the best portrait lenses out there. So after that comes the accessories. If you are a photographer, if you own or you know how to properly use a flash with modifiers such as the mag mod, triggers, etc., these help. Just a minute. As you can see, I'm in a wedding shoot. There's a lot of noise out there and there's a lot of disturbances and interruptions and really loud audience. But other than that, as I was saying, apart from that, if you are a cinematographer, owning a gimbal like the Ronin S or the Zion crane helps a lot actually to increase your value as a cinematographer. A monopod, of course, additional lights, that also helps a lot. But the most important thing that actually increases your value as a freelancer is your style in which you shoot a wedding or an event. It can be a wedding, it can be an anniversary, it can be a birthday. As a cinematographer, if you have a good collection of show reel, that you can say, show reel to showcase what work that you have done before, that helps a lot in showcasing your future prospects or future people who are going to hire you. As a photographer, good quality of sample photographs are really necessary to actually showcase what kind of work that you have done before. So I'll keep this video until here because there is a lot of distraction. I think the wedding rituals are going to start now. I'll be creating a more series of videos like this in which I'll be telling you more things like what are the etiquettes or ethics or simple guidelines that you need to follow as a freelancer. So this is me, Pratik, signing off today, and it's almost 2 in the morning right now, and I'll be shooting the rest of the wedding now till 6 in the morning. So subscribe to my channel because I'll be dedicatedly making more videos now, and like my video if you think this information proved to be useful, though it was completely impromptu and there was no information or research done on this beforehand. It's purely from experience. And hit the bell icon because these videos are really going to be a great value to your learning career. So this is Pratik signing off, and you're watching Proishi Studios. Thank you.
अपना फोटो आएगा, अपना फोटो आएगा, अपना फोटो आएगा, तो मैं लेके आया हूँ तो फोटो लेकर जाएगा, अपना फोटो आएगा।
कर बाल ठीक कर।
कई बार सही भी हो ना, आगे पड़ जाती कैमरा में कोई बात।
Well, it's 7:30 in the morning and I'm still pretty much awake. I've been awake for more than 24 hours straight. That is the life that a professional photographer or a freelancer actually achieves after a period of time. There is no biological cycle, there is no hunger, there is no sleep, and there has to be a lot and lots of patience. So on this point, I would just say it's a really hard life ahead, but stick to it, and in the end you might really find what you're looking for. All the best.